Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the Hobby Homestead. Today, we are going to start part 2 of doing our meal prep for some friends in a hard time. So follow along our journey today as we get all of these foods prepped and ready to go. Okay, friends, so why my potatoes are cooking for breakfast burritos, they asked for cinnamon rolls, so I'm going to go ahead and get the dough started for the cinnamon rolls. Alrighty, so I got a saucepan here. I need to heat up my milk to 115 degrees. So I'm going to put 3/4 cups of milk in my pan. I have to get it up to 115 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and get our milk warmed up. So as we wait for our milk to warm up, I'm going to go ahead and get my yeast into the bowl. And I usually do all sugar-free, but they like their stuff to be original. So I'm just going off their wishes. So I'm put 1 pack of yeast in there. And put 1/4 cup of sugar. And then we're going to wait for our milk to finish heating up to 115 degrees. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give this milk a stir. And we're going to see where we're sitting. So we're sitting at 114. So I'm going to go ahead and take my milk off. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dump my milk into my yeast. So I give it a little bit of a stir. I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for 10 minutes until my yeast gets nice and bubbly, and the bubbles should show us that it's activated and ready to go. Alright friends, so after you get the yeast bubbly, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 egg yolk and then 1 whole egg. And these are firm, fresh eggs. And then to that, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Go ahead and give that a mix. While that's mixing, I'm going to go ahead and add a pinch of salt. I'm going to keep this on low, and I'm going to add 3 cups of flour. I'm going to do it at 1/2 cup at a time. Sometimes I get buildup of flour on top of my cook, so I have to clean it off. So we're gonna let this incorporate. After it incorporates, I'm gonna let it knead for 10 minutes. Alrighty friends, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my counter floured because I'm gonna get my cinnamon roll dough going. Don't mind the plastic sheet for the counters and the cabinets. I'm gonna go ahead and get my dough rolled out. And this is gonna be our cinnamon roll dough. So after we get this rolled out, we'll spread some butter on it, some brown sugar, and then some cinnamon. I know I'm vegan, of course, on my sugar-free stuff, but this is not for my house. This is for a friend's house. Alrighty, so now that I have my dough rolled out, I'm gonna dump my butter on here. I'm gonna spread my butter around. Make sure everything is nice and moist. So after you get that spread around nicely, I'm gonna take brown sugar and I'll link the recipe in the description and the measurements if you want to make it. I just kind of measure with my heart what I know that they like. I know for them it's like the sweeter the better, so that's what I'm going to do for them. So after I get my brown sugar on there, I'm going to take my cinnamon and I'm going to dust it. Like that. So after I go ahead and put the cinnamon on, I'm going to take the ends of this dough, I'm going to pull it towards me and tuck it. This is one thing that me and Diana and my Aunt Kathy used to make together. Aunt Kathy taught me how to make cinnamon rolls, but I used to make them for Diana and them all the time. And they used to call me Heather the Cinnabon. It was one thing that I loved to make when I was a child. I'm going to go ahead and get my ends pinched up here. And then we'll go ahead and get this sliced, get it ready to bake after I do my second rise on it. So since we're making it for a friend, I'm going to go ahead and make them in this disposable container. I'm just taking butter and I'm going around the edges and I'll go around the bottom. I just think butter has a better flavor when it comes to baking. Everybody has their own preference, but I like to grease my pans and everything up with butter. Alrighty, so this is what the inside of mine looks like. I'm going to go ahead and set them in the pan. I'm going to set them close in the pan. It'll be okay when they rise and they cook. That way they can just kind of peel them apart how they want them. I'm going to go ahead and get this pan filled. Alrighty friends, so we're going to go ahead and let these do a second rise while the oven preheats to 350. And after it preheats to 350, we'll go ahead and get them put in and let them bake for about 20 to 30 minutes. So while I'm going to let these rise again, while my oven preheats, I'm going to go ahead and cover these with a towel. I'm going to go ahead and get my counter cleaned back off. And then next, I'm going to wash these dishes up from the cinnamon rolls, get all her ingredients gathered up for that stuff and packed up to go back to her house. And then I'm going to work on some spaghetti next. Alrighty friends, so since our next recipe is spaghetti, we're going to go ahead and get the hamburger browned up. I know some people like to do it all at once, but I use using hamburger for different recipes, so I like to just make the hamburger as I go with that recipe, since they're all going to be seasoned different. So on my cast iron, I'm going to put my hamburger, and I'm going to do 1 pound of hamburger, because she wants me to make portion sizes for that spaghetti. But I am going to go ahead and get both boxes of spaghetti noodles made up, because our other recipe is the chicken Alfredo. And so instead of heating water twice, we're going to go ahead and do it all at once with that. So I like to pre-season my water. So I'm going to put salt. Some pepper. And Italian seasoning in my water. And that way my noodles are already seasoned and flavored and ready to go. For my hamburger, I'm going to use some hickory salt. Some garlic powder. And some onion powder. So we're going to go ahead and get this hamburger brown, this water boiling, and get our noodles in and get it all ready to go. So since these meals are going in the freezer, I don't want to cook the linguine noodles all the way. So I want them to be like al dente. That way when they go to heat it up and stuff and they put it in the microwave or they put it in the oven, it'll finish cooking in that process. But I am going to put them in these single serve containers in their freezer for them. That's what she asked me to do. Because not everybody's going to want the same thing on the same day. Just giving my noodles a stir here. So getting the noodles cooking. Probably going to cook them for about another minute or so. We're getting the hamburger meat browning. And then we have these cinnamon rolls and the oven bacon. We're just getting everything knocked out, and it's only 10:15 in the morning. Alrighty, friends, so we got the shepherd's pie done. These are the single serve containers. Alrighty, guys, so we got the shepherd's pie done. We got 5 of these single serve containers. Oh my goodness, friends, I don't know what happened. I lost the audio to cooking over half of my stuff. I'm kind of upset about that, but we got the cinnamon rolls done. This is the Lord shepherd's pie. Then we have 5 of these containers of spaghetti. We got 5 of these chicken Alfredos. All right, friends. So today's Bible verse is coming out of the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verses 31 through 32. It says, He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds can come and perch in its branches. Just remember, life is like a mustard seed. You can make anything out of it. You can flourish. You can go a long ways. Even when people tell you you can't, just think God gave you that mustard seed. You can grow. You can make your dreams come true. So, friends, until next time, have a blessed evening.